Welcome to Senior Insights. Come on in, hurry up, get a seat so we can get started. Today we're going to talk about, did I say this is Senior Insights and my name is Cynthia? If I didn't, it is. Welcome. For those of you who are new, we get together just about every single morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Tuesday we have a live stream. So, which you're welcome to participate in. That's at 3 o'clock. But anyway, I have been sort of becoming aware as I'm doing my decluttering, which I am still in the process of. And guess what? I have it just about all filmed so I can do a reveal. But now I can't transfer from my phone to the computer. All of a sudden that stopped working. So if I have to do another video on saying, I'm sorry, I didn't post that apple tart thing, I'm going to shoot myself. I'll figure it out somehow. Anyway, what I was saying is that I've started noticing, well, I've had a few little trips, like I went to Hobby Lobby and I spent some money on Amazon, and they were not insignificant amounts if you look at what my budget is. And the money that I spent from Amazon was gifts, so it wasn't really my money. But what it did was it sparked the interest in me. You know that feeling in the pit of your stomach? There is something. Well, spending money is addictive. Buying things are addictive. Some people use it when they're upset or they're angry, like we eat food. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm trying that new Google's coffee. It's called Chai Latte. So we'll see. I haven't even taken a sip of it yet. Not bad. Like I said, I don't really like flavored things. It's very smooth. Smells wonderful. And we'll see if I can make it through the whole cup because I've got a whole bag and their prices just went up. So, and I'm talking about money. So I'm going to start at the beginning of my financial story. As you all know, I've said it a million times, my husband passed away almost 12 years ago now, and he always took care of the finances. And that was fine with me, and it was fine with him too. But he kind of sheltered me, and I didn't have a lot of experience with paying the bills and being aware of what the bills were and where the accounts were and all that, even though my name was on everything. So I didn't have to do that. But I just kind of, and he had a life insurance policy. It wasn't a large life insurance policy, but he had one. And with that life insurance policy, I paid off his car. So I had a loan-free car, and I had some money. Not much, but to me, who grew up in almost poverty, not total poverty, we had a place to live, we ate and everything, but we had a hole in the car floor and many other things. When we wanted to do something, we can't afford it, we can't afford it, we can't afford it. So that was kind of the hue and cry all the time. So now 10 years, 11 years have gone by. And here's the dishwasher story. So those of you who have heard the dishwasher story, this dishwasher has saved me thousands of dollars. My dishwasher breaks. Now, I had a really nice dishwasher. It was a Bosch. And I have been accustomed to having never top of the line, but decent stuff in the last several years. Not my whole married life, not, especially when I was a child and in our young married life. We even filed bankruptcy once, so that was a long, long time ago. So I bought the dishwasher and I paid $1,000 for it. and with no qualms at all. He showed me two side by side, same manufacturer, and one had the third rack, which I like. I had been using that in my other one, and I said, that's the one I'm getting. So that was, of course, $200 more for that stupid rack. But I got it, and I came home, and I like it. It worked really great. It still works really great. But all of a sudden, I realized you just very casually spent $1,000. I was thinking about the hot tub that I bought. That was many, many years ago, but that was another thing. That's something where my money went, and I could afford it at that time, it seemed. It'd be nice to have that money right now. So then I said, you need to figure out what the heck's going on with your money, how much money you have, how much spending you're doing, and you have to come up with a budget, and you have to figure out what you're doing. And I don't know if any other of you people are in the same situation where all of a sudden you're a widow and you have to figure out all these things for yourself. You need to try and figure it out beforehand, because it was not fun. It took me 10 years to figure it out. I paid all the bills and everything. No, there's no problem with that. But I just didn't get it, I guess. So I sat down. This was in January. I sat down and I went through every single bank statement, every single bill. I do most everything on the computer, so it wasn't that difficult. But I wrote everything down, and then I figured out exactly what I spent in every single category. For example, I put down all the fixed income, all the fixed expenses, like the mortgage, like the cell phone, like the car payment that I have now. I leased my car because I was so stupid that I did not have the oil changed in my already totally paid for card. That was a late model. That was fine. That had nothing wrong with it. And I let the oil run out and threw a rod through the engine. Now that's the second time I've done that. The other one was a long time ago, but still. Learn from my mistakes. If you have a car, maintain it, please, because you'll be in the same boat that I was. So then I had to go and get a car. I needed a car right away. So I leased a car. So I never had a car payment. Oh, yeah. I'll give you $6,000 deposit and I'll pay you $250. It was the first time. So anyway, back to looking at my bills. I discovered that I spent a lot of money on Amazon. And I know many of you do too. It's kind of fun. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I discovered is I'm willing to pay more on Amazon than if I saw it in a store. I do this strange thing like just use paper towels, for example. I'll go into BJ's. Now paper towels are a bargain there, but I'll order on Amazon and they're more expensive. Or a small appliance, same thing. I'd say, I'm not paying that much money. And then I'd come and I'd order it. I never did without. So after I figured out what money I spent, I figured out how much I needed to be able to stay in this home. Because we still have a mortgage. I still have a mortgage. Hopefully he's up there in heaven watching me. Tell all my secrets. No, but I think you can learn from me. Don't, especially if you're younger, save your money, and be careful with how you spend it. You don't have to have all these things. You really don't. I figured that out. So, of course, I was watching YouTube, which was my favorite activity. And there were all these channels about, it was in January, so it's budgeting, It was no spend month and all that stuff. And I watched a few of the no spend videos, and I said, I don't think I could do that because spending kind of makes me feel good, even though afterwards I don't feel good. But after I saw what my budget was, what I had for money, I discovered that I was frittering away so much money. I said, I am going to do it. I told my friends that I used to go out to lunch with, I said, I'm not going out to lunch anymore. Every time you go out to lunch, it's $40, plus the gas, plus your time. Of course, the friendship is nice, the companionship. So what we decided to do is we had lunch at each other's house a couple of times, and we enjoyed that. We brown bagged it. So we each brought our own lunch, and it was fine, and it didn't cost us anything. And we enjoyed it. We actually noticed that we stayed longer when we were in someone's home than we did when we were in a restaurant. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's the pressure of, the waitress trying to get you out of there so she can serve someone else. So I did that. I did not spend one red penny on Amazon. Nothing. I didn't spend a penny in Martin's, my favorite store. I didn't spend a penny in Ocean State, my favorite store. I stuck to it. I couldn't believe I stuck to it. And then it started becoming like a game. I wonder if I can do it. How am I doing? And lo and behold, I made it to the end of January. And I wanted to keep going. It was like, I have an addictive personality, which we'll talk about another time. But I didn't want to stop it. I was so proud of myself that I did it. I never thought I could do it. So I kept on. I'd slowly slip in, a little spending, but not to the degree that I was. And that has lasted. Now, that was in January. So right up until, I would say, this last month, I have had the positive residual effects from that no-spend month and for clearly looking at my money and figuring out exactly where it went. I put it down. I write it down. You don't want to see all my stuff. I write every single thing down. I have the fixed income, the non-fixed income, the miscellaneous, the groceries, all that stuff. And they come, the fixed and the unfixed come from different bank accounts. And anything that's over at the end of the month goes into my savings account. Well, then I started a YouTube channel. February 1st was my first YouTube video. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I didn't know what YouTube is. I still don't know what the heck I'm doing, but I'm doing it. And 3 months after I started getting paid. And although it's not a significant amount, it's quite a bit of a difference than living only on your Social Security, because that was what I had pledged to do. Now, so far, I've only gotten 3 checks, or 4 maybe, and it goes directly into my savings account. I haven't touched it. But you know what it's like when you know that there's money there? Maybe some of you don't. I know some of you don't even have a home. Some of you are living in cars and vans. I know that. And I don't mean to brag about my fancy dishwasher and all that. They're just things. They are just things. I used to like to go camping. But even then I had things. I had a lot of stuff to help. So I didn't touch it. And one of my fantasies with the YouTube money was that it would help me be able to hopefully stay in my home, because I would like to stay here until I die. However, one never knows. And like I told you last week, my taxes just went up $2,400 a year. That is the amount of money that I have in my grocery budget. It's actually a little bit more. So that, I have to say, I have to figure out, is it worth staying here? Financially, that is. Mentally, definitely. So that's what I plan on doing, the YouTube money. And then I'd like to do something good with it. But I don't have enough to do anything with it. But if I could get somebody to cut my trees, the way I want them, the way I used to do them myself, and pick up the leaves, and maybe pick up the dog poop. There are people that do that too. You can hire them. So if I don't look at that as my money and that I can spend it, somehow that's okay for me. But I still have to keep that budget. I keep that budget. I am very strict about it. But I'm getting that tingling in my stomach. When I started decluttering and I went into the bathroom and I saw how frumpy it looked in my eyes and how dirty it was and how much stuff I had, I said, you got to do something about this. This is not you. So then I had the $100 gift certificate. So I spent it on things for the bathroom. The shower curtain and the curtain I found while I was decluttering. So I'll show you those during the reveal if I can ever figure out how to transfer the video. But anyway, so where was I? I will also need in the future a car, because my car is leased. I still have 1 more year on it, and I do not intend to lease a car ever again. Do not ever lease a car. That's another one of my big mistakes. In my opinion, a lot of people have leased cars and they like it. They like the fact that they get a new car every 3 years. Well, that's not really the case. The case is you pay them more money and your payment goes up and then you get a new car. So I don't want anyone to tell me all the mistakes I've made. I'm very aware of that, so please, no criticism, not even constructive. I have beat this situation to a dead horse. So I guess what I'm trying to say to you folks, it works. I had, just as an example, I had $2,000 in my savings account. I have $9,500 in my savings account now. That does include the YouTube payment or whatever it is. What I do is if there's any money left over in those other accounts, I put it right into the savings account. It may be $50, it may be $300, but I know that it's there. But what I was saying is I'm getting this, like, I know that money is there, so it won't hurt to spend a little bit more. Like, those sunflowers, they're half dead now anyway. I lost one of them. But I never would have bought those. Never. Even last month, I wouldn't have bought them. But see, I'm starting to feel like I have a little more money. But the reality is I need that money. I need that money. That will let me stay here for several more months, or it will let me hire people to help me. So I can't just go and frivolously spend money, and probably neither can you. So what I would encourage you to do is really, because January's coming, and you're going to have to start looking again at your finances. I do it now every 6 months, and I set up a new sheet. So this is July, August, and September. I have different pages for different accounts and different categories. I keep track of everything. The dog food, the bird feeder food, because those things you forget. You don't know how much money you're spending on the bird feeders. And trust me, it's a lot. You don't know how much you're spending on Amazon. Well, if you're like me, you don't know. So look at your finances. Start getting ready, gathering all your stuff so you can review it. It doesn't take that long, really. And write every single thing down. And then come up with a budget. Figure out how much you need for every item and what you need for the fixed items on an annual basis, and put that in separately. And then if you have anything, put it in savings. And I would seriously consider doing the no spend month. Now, I know people that say, oh yeah, sure. It's easy for you to say. You have a nice house, a stainless steel refrigerator, a Great Dane. Looks can be deceiving. Just because someone's smiling doesn't mean that they're happy. Just because they have sunflowers doesn't mean they have the money to spend on them. So think about it. It was life-changing for me. It was life-changing for me. And I intend to do it again in January. And I don't think I could do it more than, you can do it intermittently, like January, March, or something like that, or at the beginning of each quarter. Anyway, I'm talking too much about that because I know very few people will choose to do that. But I highly recommend it, and it is really good for you. And I didn't drink any of my coffee. That's still good. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.